The year is 1942. While most people wouldn't know this yet, a very major pop culture franchise would be created around this time. A reverend in the United Kingdom named Wilbert Awdry had a sick son with the measles and decided to tell him some bedtime stories. For telling his stories, he used his knowledge working on actual steam locomotives to make stories surrounding them, though he didn't want to make them like how other things had been at the time. Throughout the 20s up until the early 40s, live steam locomotive characters would, well, not really be treated as grounded. They'd be silly, bombastic, over the top, which is not a bad thing for sure, but Awdry wasn't going to go in this direction. He wanted to apply his real life focus on his stories. Along with that, there was nothing really heavily focusing on the main steam engine characters specifically, always them playing a secondary role in any kind of story they would be put into. While restricting the story to be realistic, Awdry made the best out of these limitations that the engines could have by putting them in a real life scenario that could theoretically happen to an actual locomotive, albeit now that they can actually talk, they can kind of have a say or do in what goes on within each story. You got simple stories like Edward wanting to go out of his sheds and, do some nice work, or him having to show up Gordon in the story after he's a rude, pompous jerk to him, or one where Henry is afraid of the rain, refuses to come out of the tunnel, and gets blocked in. But no, it's worries. No worries. At the end of the story, he's freed. These were all very simple tales that he made meticulously to teach little life lessons using real life steam engines, but grounding them in a way that, it felt like this is something that could happen in real life if they could be alive. Awdry was able to make an interesting bedtime story, but at its core would have a lot more strong themings if, say, the thing was gonna keep going. He wasn't planning on publishing it first, though when his wife caught wind of these stories, she kind of told him maybe it'd be a good idea, and well, look at where the Railway series is now. So Awdry had a very simple but pretty groundbreaking idea. So how would he be able to, add more to the Railway series than just the realism portion going forward? Find out on the next video whenever I continue this little series on why Thomas was successful.